happened to you at some point that when you were younger, you noticed an attitude or a trait some of your parents had, which you didn't actually like too much? And you will think, I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to be different. And after growing up a couple of years, what a surprise when you ended up repeating that same attitude and thinking, when did that happen? And today, you're still replicating it without even realizing it. And it doesn't matter how much we want to get rid of that attitude. We keep repeating it as if it's part of us. For me personally, my dad is pretty stubborn. And often, a family dinner might find us arguing about something, in which I will say something like, Dad, can you stop being so stubborn? And he will reply by saying, you're the same way. And I will say something like, no, I'm not. And he will say, yes, you are. And again, I will disagree by saying, no, I'm not. And so on. It seemed like it was inevitable to develop certain traits my parents had. Many times, the people who we interact the most with give us a little part of them that becomes part of who we are. And I'm completely sure if you think of a person close to you, you will find something that this person does and you repeat. However, not every attitude we portray is a stolen trait from another person. Most of who we actually are is the result of our interactions with others. And let's be honest, obviously not every human interaction is positive. Every day we receive lots of bad comments or attitudes that can potentially hurt us. There's this story, an Austrian story, called The Nails on the Door. The story is about a boy, a very bad-tempered boy. And one day, his father gave him a gift. It was a box of nails, a hell of a gift. And he told his son that every time he treats someone badly, he has to hammer one nail on his door. The first day, this very enthusiastic boy hammered 37 nails on the door. But when he realized the amount of nails he had put up, he could gradually start controlling his anger, and every day he hammered less nails on the door until one day he didn't add any. That day, the father gave him a new gift. This time it was tweezers, like an upgrade from the previous gift. And he told his son that every time he did a good deed, he could use the tweezers to take nails out of the door. So with time, little by little, fewer nails remained on the door until there were none left. At that moment, the father stood next to his son in front of the door and told him, "You did well to remove all the nails, but look at the marks the nails left for each nail in the door. That cannot be fixed, and that's why the door will never be the same." I remember when I was in primary school, my friends, which were at the time not the kindest ones, treated me harshly. And most of the time, I was the one who was left out. Nowadays, this is a old issue. The nails are no longer in the door. In fact, one of the guys who bothered me a lot is today one of my best friends. But I wouldn't be telling the truth if I said that the nails, the marks on the door weren't still there. In fact, many times it's difficult for me to be open or even to socialize with other people because of those childhood experiences. Sometimes it's quite frightening to be cognizant of the impact we can generate in other people. Because when it's a negative impact, we can generate huge and permanent damage. But as there are many ways to ruin someone's day, month, year, or even life stage, there's also ways to make those moments better for them. A few months ago, one day I was at my best friend's house before going to a night out with friends. She gave me a T-shirt, which when I tried it on for the first time, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't like it. But I wore it anyway because my friend told me so. When I met my friend, when I met my friends, I went to say hello to one of them. And after just saying hi, she automatically told me, "Oh, how nice you look in that T-shirt. I love it." And during the entire night, I received lots of comments like that. Some days later, I go to school with that same T-shirt and received the same kind of comments. This was a magic T-shirt. And nowadays, with that T-shirt that when I first tried it on for the first time, I felt uncomfortable, didn't like the way it fit. It's my favorite T-shirt now, and I wear it anywhere. A little disclaimer, my friend never saw that T-shirt again. I know this is a superficial example. The T-shirt has no feelings. It's a futile object. But what I mean is that with just a couple of compliments, we can generate a big impact on the other. Even more when we are always throwing ourselves down. Because the impact we can generate in other people can be also positive. This reminds me of some TikTokers who go down the street with the car and compliment with a megaphone people who were just walking by. And many times we hear how the strangers claim that they have made their day better. And I can't believe how easy it is. Sometimes when we hear a compliment, we just cannot control the smile of happiness it brings us. And it's incredible how in less than 10 words, someone can make our day. There's a beautiful poem by Luis Pesetti, an Argentinian educator. It is called Con lo que muevas. I'm going to read the first 2 verses. Be careful of what you move, because everything could move. Be careful where you place your hands, because in everything you could leave your fingerprints. And it's not that every fingerprint it's permanent, but they are really fingerprints. Be careful where you want to leave your marks. I think it's clear. Everything we say will have an impact on the other and will leave marks. That's inevitable. And that's why we always have to be aware of what we say, because we may say something that hurt the other person a lot and leave a mark forever. We can take on the responsibility and do our best to leave the most positive and healthy marks in others. It is probably the best way to start making a difference in this world. Thank you.